A report from inside the White House. The allegations stemming from reports President Trump asked the president of Ukraine to investigate the son of Joe Biden for business dealings in Ukraine. ABC's David Wright is at the White House.
President Trump calls the whole story a political hack job. He says it's fake news, but he has refused to answer direct questions about whether or not he did discuss Joe Biden or Biden's family during that phone call with the newly elected president of Ukraine. He said that he has lots of phone calls with world leaders and that this phone call, like all the others, was totally appropriate. He called it a beautiful conversation.
In Utah, the investigation continues after 4 people died in a tour bus crash on an isolated road near Bryce Canyon National Park.
Officials say the bus lost control when making a slight turn, then crashed into a guardrail. The collision caused the bus to roll over, ejecting passengers. All 30 people on board, including the driver, suffered injuries. 3 helicopters airlifted some of the passengers to area hospitals while emergency crews and bystanders worked together to triage victims. The tourist group was made up of Chinese nationals.
ABC's Will Carr, you're listening to ABC News.
Legends of Nashville, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
When she was 8 years old, she taught herself how to play piano and became a seamstress to support her family. Patsy Cline went on to help break down the gender barrier in country music.
Crazy. Legends of Nashville, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. Get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Be a flu fighter with a free flu shot from Walgreens. It's no cost to you with most insurance. It's quick, easy, with no appointment needed. Plus, it lowers your chances of spreading the flu to the people you care about most. Get your flu shot at Walgreens and get $5 off an eligible purchase of $20 now through November 30th. This is your shot to protect you and the ones you love. Be a flu fighter. Walgreens. Trusted since 1901. Coupon offer not valid in Arkansas, New Jersey, or New York. See coupon for terms and restrictions. Vaccine subject to availability and some restrictions may apply.
Shoppers were sent scrambling Friday when an SUV crashed into a Chicago area mall, plowing through windows and slamming into displays. ABC's Kaylee Hartung is at the Woodfield Mall in Schaumburg, Illinois.
Investigators trying to piece together what led to a man plowing an SUV through this suburban mall outside of Chicago. Witnesses saying the driver purposefully crashed into kiosks and stores.
I was helping a customer, and all of a sudden, this SUV started coming towards my kiosk. If I would have stayed in my kiosk, I wouldn't be here today. I'll be gone.
The driver initially detained by witnesses and 2 off-duty officers before being taken into custody.
Police say there were no serious injuries and no serious structural damage to the mall. All stores are expected to open today. Remnants of tropical depression Imelda still creating problems in Texas and threatening parts of the Midwest. ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano says water rescues continued in New Kearney, Texas yesterday.
Imelda's death toll rising. Now 5 fatalities at the hands of this relentless storm. Parts of southeast Texas engulfed by more than 43 inches of rain. The tropical storm inundating streets, swallowing cars, and blocking traffic for those trying to get out. Officials and volunteers out helping the hundreds trapped in floodwaters.
The concern of flooding this weekend, Kansas City, St. Louis, and through the Chicago area. This is ABC News.
Right now, the Home Depot makes replacing your old carpet easy with more styles and colors to choose from. There's no better time to buy, with free installation on any carpet purchase of $499 or more, all by licensed local pros, backed for life. Today is the day for doing and saving with free carpet installation only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. For a limited time, $499 minimum purchase required, typically $699. For license information, visit homedepot.com/license numbers. Valid through November 6, 2019.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
ABC News this hour is sponsored by the Woodland Bank. We're here with Andy and Tasha Klocko.
We own and operate Klocko Brewing Company. We're located in Grand Rapids at 36 Southeast 10th Street, kind of right by the Water Tower and Walgreens. We are a craft brewery, so we first and foremost brew beer, many different styles of ales and lagers. Woodland, to us, came very highly recommended from multiple people in the community. Kind of hit it off with everyone right away and sort of felt like the right thing. We use business checking and loan services, nothing but friendly and professional, and really like how Brian's kind of made it clear that it's a partnership from the beginning. From our first meetup with him and Wayne, it was just very, very clear that, hey, this is in open and honest thing. We want to help you because if you succeed, we succeed, and it's good to have that more of a partnership relationship.
It's just been so supportive.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
That's the Woodland way.
Classic Radio weather.
Here's your KOZY weatherology forecast. Cloudy skies today with scattered thunderstorms likely. High of 73. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance for scattered storms again tonight. Lows around 52. Overcast skies. High temperatures reach up to 63. Tomorrow, mainly cloudy skies. Dry with temperatures near average Monday and Tuesday and highs in the upper 60s. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 68.
It's time for the Sports Issue on 1320 KOZY and KOZYRadio.com.
Tipped across, now Grand Rapids will set the offense. Back row, Wall just gets it over at the net, and Kleinfelter says, I know what to do with that, and Kleinfelter bangs it home for the kill.
He rolls to his left, he's a righty, he puts it up there and trying to come underneath it, DeChambeau does, beautiful, into the end zone, touchdown, Tomberlin to DeChambeau.
The Sports Issue is brought to you by Grand Itasca Clinic and Hospital, Jimmy John's, Northern Star Cenex and A&W of Deer River, and Anderson Glass. The Sports Issue is also brought to you by Dondelinger Ford, McDonald's, Woodland Bank, and Super One Foods.
Low kick. It's going to be fielded by Austin Raisley at the 19-yard line inside Warrior territory. He's got some blocks all the way to the end zone. He had a punt return touchdown. Now he's going to have a kickoff return for a touchdown. Untouched. No flags. And just like that, the Warriors scored to begin this second half.
On the outside, ball hangs on the net. Grand Rapids digs it out. On the outside, McKinney. Oh, what a beautiful angle from the outside. Tips it across the net for the kill, 18-15.
The Sports Issue starts now on 1320 KOZY. And happy Saturday to you. Welcome to the Sports Issue here on KOZY. It is a soggy Saturday morning in the Grand Rapids area. Some heavy rain at times this morning. Joe Gigliotti along with Sheldon Willis. Hi there.
Good morning.
How's things today?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
The donuts were all gone, so I'm a little hungry, a little peckish.
And we're not even sure how all those donuts went away. I mean, usually there's, some leftovers, but I didn't even see a box or anything, just some crumbs when I got here at 3 yesterday.
The wolves arrived and cleaned them up after I left yesterday.
Bunch of Neanderthals, I tell you.
Wrap one, put it in my drawer and save it for the next morning.
You probably should. I like
a squirrel. But the coffee's good. I'm ready to go, man.
All right, good. Coming up on today's show, we'll have a full Friday Night Lights recap from Week 4 already last night in high school football in Minnesota.
We're halfway done with the high school regular season.
Feels like it just started, huh?
No kidding.
Because it pretty much did just start, and we're already halfway through. Coming up around 9:30, we should be joined by Grand Rapids Boys Soccer in studio, Coach Nick and a couple of the captains, I believe, and maybe Greenway Volleyball?
I was going to say maybe a mystery guest in about 15 minutes. I wasn't going to...
Oh, oops.
Not confirmed, but we'll see.
Okay, if they show up, we'll be happy to chat with them, and if not, you and I will chat some more. We will also chat about another Minnesota Twins win last night as their magic number is now at 5, the division lead at 4. Twins defeating Kansas City last night. We'll also look ahead to Vikings and Raiders coming up tomorrow, and a whole lot more fun along the way. Last night, Friday Night Lights, Grand Rapids taking on Proctor, and, they could have used maybe some extra lights there at the Proctor Field. Now, Sheldon, I was going to open today by asking you how challenging it was to call the game in the fog last night, but I think instead we'll just let some of these sounds kind of tell the story here.
See, some games when I don't catch numbers or I don't catch running backs, I feel like I'm just not a good announcer. Tonight I have an excuse. Hand off to Holm. No, keeping it. Going to the far side, and
that might have been a touchdown.
That might have been. I'm trying to figure it. And Proctor not jumping up and down, so I believe a little short.
First down for Proctor.
Oh, it is Proctor first down. No one here could tell. I'm just going to make a guess at John Bonner. He's usually the one who runs that way.
That's what it looked like to me, number 27. Looks like a field goal kicker's out there.
Interception on the play.
Oh. Intercepted. Okay. Deep into Proctor territory. I have no idea who or where he was tackled, but people were running fast.
Boy, great job by the Proctor there with, the snapper and the holder. I mean, we didn't see anything happen up here, but great execution on their part.
Stay tuned after the game. We'll have some made-up stats. Well, they're kind of right. The score will be right, we think.
Did that pretty much sum it up last night?
Pretty much. The sound effects were good. The buzzers for the wrong guesses were great. Should have had a gong show. Just gong them out of there.
Sounded like you and Tom Schmoll had a blast last night.
Well, we're leaning out the window and the drizzle and the fog and the wind, and everything's getting soggy. The paper's starting to come apart. But if you close the window, you absolutely could see nothing. Absolutely nothing if you closed the window. So, and you couldn't see a lot more with the window open.
And you were telling me it's just something about the location of the field there in Proctor. And can you play weatherman for a moment here for us?
I don't. I have it on this computer, but I have no way to play off of this computer on the air because right at the beginning of my interview with Mr. Parendo,
yep.
He actually gave us a little earth science lesson.
Oh, he did.
Okay. As to why and how this happens at Proctor so often. They're basically up a hill about a half a mile from Lake Superior. In the fall, when the water's cold and the land is still warm, the wind comes off the lake, the cold wind off the lake sweeps up the hill, and everything condenses, and you have a cloud that hangs right over Proctor. And that's what we had. They said it was all day. At one point, I'm leaning out the window saying, oh, maybe the wind will change and it'll push this out of here. And a Proctor guy looked at me and said, been here all day.
And the same thing happened 2 years ago when Grand Rapids played at Proctor. But this did not happen, a couple weeks ago when Rapids played at a kind of a neutral site at Proctor?
Yes.
Against a different opponent.
With Duluth-Denfeld. But it's the combination of being kind of up the hill and still very close. It's I know you can get some fog like at Wade Stadium, Public School Stadium, which is closer to the lake, but in some ways the fog often goes over the top of those places because they're right at lake level. So the fog, you can see it's really just gunky. I just saw someone drive in. I was wondering if I was going to bet on Greenway Volleyball, but I think it might be Big Dan dropping off some equipment. So it's worse at Proctor because it's up the hill. You basically have that hill that goes up into the fog.
So as far as the game itself, what people could see, it seemed like a pretty convincing win for Grand Rapids as they take the 30-3 victory last night, and let's learn more.
The Grand Rapids Thunderhawks at Terry Eggerdall Field for the second time in 3 weeks as they took on the Proctor Rails for Proctor's homecoming, and the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks in the fog come away with a 30-3 victory. It was all defense in the first half. Grand Rapids would finally score a touchdown
starting on the Proctor 37-yard line, and Trent Johnson would go in for the touchdown of 27 yards. Extra point was good, and it was 7-0 Grand Rapids at halftime. The fog would really roll in the second half, and the Proctor Rails a very long drive to start the second half, and ending up with a 30-yard field goal after controlling the ball for over half of the third quarter. Grand Rapids getting a huge kickoff return by Caden Hofstad and get a 3-yard touchdown run. That made the score 15-3 after the 2-point conversion. Johnson up the middle, touchdown, Grand Rapids! And then Grand Rapids, starting on their own 10-yard line, would finish off with a 42-yard touchdown run by Trent Johnson, and then an 8-yard run by Caden Hofstad to finish off the game 30-3 for the Thunderhawks. 254 yards rushing. They had no yards through the air. One completed pass that went for no yards. John Bonner, 4 carries for 82 yards. Brock Holm, 15 carries for 80 yards. Trent Johnson, 4 for 70. And Caden Hofstad also with some good runs late. For the Proctor Rails, 79 yards rushing and 81 yards passing in the losing effort. The Thunderhawks go to 3-1. They are back home against Hermantown next Friday at Noble Hall Field. From Fogged In Terry Egerdahl Field in Proctor, I'm Sheldon Willis.
Thank you, Sheldon.
You're welcome.
All right, perfect. And so another pretty, again, convincing win for Grand Rapids. A great start to the season. They are 3-1. But what's wrong with them? They didn't put up 65-plus points last night.
They were playing a good team.
That'll do it. And yet they still put up 30 in all of that fog. And not just the fog, but a little slippery, a little wet, and still able to win rather easily last night. So I guess overall your thoughts on the first 4 games of the season for Grand Rapids?
I think they're getting better every week. I know they're fighting a few injury bug things right now. They were missing some key players last night on the line especially. But, I think this team is improving every week. They're getting more confidence every week. And they're able to play off what a defense takes away now. That's something that didn't happen the last couple of years. They had Brock and Brody Holm up the middle, but then if that was taken away, they didn't have a lot to go to. Caden Hofstad, John Bonner, Max Bergman, all and Trent Johnson as well, all look good running the ball on the edge, and their speed shows there. And Bonner's bigger than I remembered. I interviewed him last night in the post-game interview. It's like he's fast, but he's a solid kid. He's a little taller actually than Brock Holm. And he makes a lot of plays on defense, but also came into play in the running game. Their special teams has been so good, and also their defense. So they're a good team. We'll see how good they are. They're going to have another step up in competition next week when Hermantown comes to town, and I believe Hermantown comes in at 4-0. Or no, Hermantown lost their first game, 3-1.
And after the Grand Rapids win last night over Proctor, you caught up with the aforementioned John Bonner and Brock Holm.
And on the post-game interview with John Bonner and Brock Holm, and John, a couple big runs on that last drive to seal it. But this was a game that was just, you ever played in a game quite like this?
No, nothing like this fog, but it was a great game. We rallied back, had a great second half, and finished strong.
Talk a little bit about after Proctor came out, kicked the field goal, and you guys responded right away on the big kickoff return and punching it in.
Hey, it's just kind of, it was super like deadlocked first quarter, or like first half even, and it was just kind of the momentum was shifting back and forth. Nobody could really take over, and we kind of just outlasted them. And in that second half, we got up on them, and we didn't let off the gas. We took over.
And what are some of the keys to playing in conditions like this? I know there were a few fumbles, but it's really tough conditions to play in.
Yeah, I mean, it's slippery out here. You just got to adjust yourselves and, I don't know, yeah, do your best. I mean, everyone's playing the same, so no one's got it better than anyone else out here with the weather.
You probably remember the game 2 years ago, Brock, when you were a sophomore. It was about the same thing.
Yeah, same exact thing. It was so crazy. This is like the only place it happens, I guess.
And last 2 years ago, you were shut out here. This year, you put up 30 points. Is this team really coming into its own now?
Yeah, it is. This team's really got a lot of grit, and we got a lot of chemistry and teamwork, and this team knows how to work. And like previous years, we're running out of gas, getting down on ourselves, and this team just never seems to get down on itself. We keep plugging away.
Nice win, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brock Holm, John Bonner post-game after Grand Rapids, the 30-3 win over Proctor. The Thunderhawks now 3-1 for the first time since 2016. We'll take a quick timeout on the sports issue. We'll come back. Lots more high school football to get to and other sports chat as well. The sports issue continues next on KOZY.
If you're looking for a one-stop shopping destination while traveling through Deer River, or if you're a long-term area member, the Northern Star Cenex Travel Center is here to serve you. They offer 24-hour fueling of high-quality, top-tier Cenex gasoline in 3 grades: unleaded, super unleaded, and non-oxygenated premium. On the diesel island, they offer highly rated Cenex Roadmaster Premium Diesel for on-road users and dyed diesel fuel for off-road jobs, plus propane for your grilling and RV needs. All at Northern Star Cenex in Deer River.
If your windows stick, slip, squeak, or leak, replace them with Andersen Windows. With low E-glass, low maintenance exteriors, and rich wood interiors, standard and custom sizes, they can turn simple window replacement into serious home improvement.
Stop and see Derek, your Andersen window specialist at Andersen Glass, Grand Rapids.
Fall means a good-smelling home and hot meals. This is Kurt, store manager at Super One North. On sale this week, 85% lean ground round, $3.49 a pound. Or how about Smithfield premium stuffed pork chops, only $1.99 a pound. Craving an apple pie? Washington-grown Gala apples, 99 cents a pound. Or Fresh Express premium salad blends, $1.99 a bag. Fall's in the air at Super One Foods. Super One Foods, proud to be part of your community.
You ever hear that you get what you pay for? Hey, Max here with Donlier Ford, and here's the deal. We all know you can buy used cars here, there, and everywhere, but not all used cars are the same. We're a little different than the other guys. We're not just vacuuming the french fries out of these puppies and put them on the lot. We're going to check it over. We're going to make sure it's right. We're so confident in these vehicles that we're going to give you a warranty for life. As long as you own the car, you're covered. So you got to come check us out down at Donlier Ford under the big American flag in Rapids.
Welcome back to the sports issue on KOZY. Joe Gigliotti and Sheldon Willis with you. A rainy start to our Saturday. Showers and storms continuing during the day and maybe tonight as well. Some of the storms could be severe. High today around 73. Tomorrow partly sunny, cooler, high of 63. Monday, some fog early on, otherwise sunny and a high near 70. Tuesday, slight chance of storms and a high of 70. Right now, 68 and soggy. Our time is 8:24. In other high school football action last night, the GNK Titans put up a whole lot of points in their matchup against International Falls. Now, the Broncos, Sheldon, had a pretty good start to this season, right?
They did. They had a double overtime victory over Northwoods, which, of course, is a brand new single A team coming up from 9-man, and then a very good win over Deer River. And you think, hey, maybe the Broncos are really back. I mean, that was, I know Deer River was not happy with their performance up in I Falls, but, hats off to the Broncos. They did well. But, last week, Moose Lake Willow River, you lose 32-0 to Moose Lake Willow River. Well, they beat a top 10 team in the state this week, 20-0. That I don't know that there's any, slump your shoulders time losing to Moose Lake Willow River, even 32-0. But last night, the wheels came off a bit.
And for a recap, let's turn to Dan Persons.
Barley Field in Coleraine. The Titans faced off against the International Falls Broncos, and it was the Titans early and often as they went on to win the game 56-14. They got the party started early with a 65-yard touchdown run from Blaise Tomberlin. Out of the shotgun, he looks to run first. Up the middle, he's got a hole. Breaks free to the left side, to the 40, the 30, They have an angle. He's going to race to the sideline, just into the end zone. Less than 2 minutes later, it was an 80-yard run by Eli Conaway. Tomberlin up the middle to Conaway, and he breaks free. It's going to be an 80-yard run by Eli Conaway down to the 10, sneaks into the end zone at the goal line, and that's a quick strike Titan offense. Conaway would go on to add 3 more scores on the night and rush for a total of 152 yards. Dylan DeChambeau caught a touchdown pass from Blaze Tomberlin. He drops back to pass, looks right, looks left, and he's got a man out there. It's Dylan DeChambeau, fights the ball away from the cornerback and walks in for the touchdown, 33 yards. As well as Tommy Cuellar with about 2 seconds left in the first half. Tomberlin takes the snap, looks deep to the end zone, defended on the play tightly by Sari, and that's going to be a touchdown. Tommy Cuellar. D'Angelo Jefferson added 2 scores for the Titans on Friday night. For the Broncos, it was Jace Hallen getting their first score in the second quarter, and also number 40, Noah Mathis, with a touchdown run late in the fourth quarter for the Broncos. Through the air, Blaze Tomberlin completed 5 passes for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. Things couldn't have gone better for the Titans on Friday night. The Titans come away with a 56-14 win. Next week, they'll be on the road to face 2 Harbors in a key Section 7-3A matchup. This is Dan Persons for Lamke Broadcasting Sports.
Thank you, Dan, not only for the wrap-up, but also for dropping off the equipment a little bit ago.
Yeah, came in, chatted a little bit. He's still trying to wake up. I offered him some coffee. He didn't take it.
Well, maybe hearing his rap on his way home kind of fired him right back up.
There you go. There you go.
And after the game, for our post-game interview, Bobby Zolke, as you might have heard on some of the calls there, pitched in, did some color commentary last night. Whenever we need somebody who bleeds green, we just go to Bobby.
And Bobby loves doing he loves the kids, and that is one of the things that's so much fun is he's plugged into the community there, and he's a big supporter of all Greenway Athletics, GNK Athletics.
And he caught up with a couple of the winning Titans post-game.
Bobby Zolke with J105. We got Keegan Wormuth, Dakota Thonis with me. Boys, I watch a little bit of football, and I ain't ever seen a duel like you two had tonight. You guys were fast, mean, and thing. What got you so motivated for this game? I'll start off with you, Keegan.
Well, I mean, Coach Schwartz really got us pumped up in the locker room after our 2 losses. We needed a motivator, and Bob Schwartz really helped us, and that's really how we pulled this game off.
Dakota, when you were coming on the outside, and you got the big guy in front of you making a block, and you're beating down on those kickers down here. You had some speed. What'd you eat for supper?
Yeah, I had a good Taco Bell before the game, but tonight was a good night. We came out fire under our butt tonight, and Coach Schwartz pumped us up real good in the locker room tonight. Those 2 losses really motivated us to pick it up and pick up the pace and play like a GNK Titan like we can.
All right, I'll start off with Dakota on this question, and I'll come back to you, Keegan.
All right.
How do we prepare for next week's game with 2 Harbors? Do we kind of do the same game plan?
Yeah, we'll pretty much do the same game plan. We'll start Monday with a normal film practice like we always do. And then Tuesday we'll go to work, Wednesday we'll go to work, and then Thursday we'll take that easy practice day and we'll get ready for Friday.
Thanks, Dakota. Appreciate it. Keegan, how do you prepare for next week's game?
Well, it's pretty much the same thing, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have the same game plan. It really worked today, so we'll see the same thing come game time Friday.
All right, good luck to you two, and congratulations on a great win. Good job, man.
Again, that's Dakota Thonis and Keegan Wormuth chatting with Bobby Zolke post-game last night. Must be that Taco Bell.
And I love listening to Bobby's interviews because he will ask questions that I would never think of. I've never asked someone what they ate for supper.
And I kind of, next time we have GNK football in studio, I kind of want to hear a sample of a Bob Schwartz pregame pep talk. It sounds exciting.
Yeah, sounds like he lit a fire.
So GNK with the win last night. Also in action last night, the Deer River Warriors as they took on the Bram Bombers on the road. This one much tighter than the previous 2 games we talked about. And for a recap, we turn to David Moody.
David Moody with the post-game wrap-up of the Deer River Warriors football game. They traveled to Bram against the undefeated Bombers. But the Bombers got a defeat now as the Warriors win 20-12 after they led at the half 14-6. This game was certainly always in doubt, however. Could have went either way. The scoring got started just 18 seconds into the game after Bram nearly took the opening kickoff to the house. They ran it 79 yards to the 1. Austin Raisley saved that touchdown, tackled them at the 1, but then the Bombers would score on their very first play from scrimmage. It would be a quarterback keeper by Hayden Lee. He started to go inside, saw nothing was there, did a great job bouncing out to the outside and scoring. The 2-point conversion would fail, but the Bombers were up to an early 6-0 lead, like I said, 18 seconds into the game. And we went quite a while before some scoring, had some turnovers, some sloppy play from both teams, but finally the pendulum shifted the Warriors' way at the 3:27 mark of the second quarter. It was a 64-yard touchdown run by Austin Raisley, broke about 4 tackles on the play. We described it as a man run. It was very, very, very impressive by Austin Raisley. Fox under center, turns around, hands it to Raisley, started going to his left, it plants his feet, and then cuts it back up the center. Oh, and he just lurches through, breaks through 2 tacklers. Looked like it was a for sure tackle. Raisley's going all the way to the house. How is he not brought down? What a run by Austin Raisley, and I don't see any penalty markers.
No flags. He had 4 guys on him.
You know what we call that run? A grown man run. 2-point conversion, no good. That tied the game up 6-6, but the Warriors weren't done with just 38 seconds to play in the first half. They would score again. Play action pass by Blake Fox to Logan David, and he took it to the house from 15 yards out. 2-point conversion would be good by Austin Raisley. It was a run that made the score 14-6. Deer River would score again at the 1:28 mark of the third quarter. 25-yard drive capped off by a 3-yard touchdown run by Trevor McKenzie, and it was all set up by a block by Quentin White. Low snap, picks it up off the ground, it's blocked! Quentin White blocked it right back to the punter. He takes off to the right, and he is going to be tackled shy of the first down. So Quentin White with the block. And it was interesting because they were going to go for it. It was like 4th and 4. The offense had a penalty, the Bombers did, so then they went to punt, and then it was blocked by Quentin White. As we mentioned, that drive was capped off by a Trevor McKenzie touchdown, made it 20-6 after the 2-point conversion was no good. And then at the 5:23 mark of the fourth quarter, the Bombers threatened again. They scored on a 4th and 9 play, 65-yard touchdown pass from Lee to Reason, and that made the score 20-12 after the failed 2-point conversion. Then the Warriors would get the ball back, and they had a clean drive, just ran the ball, bled the clock out to 0. Warriors win 20-12 on the road in Bram. Coming up next for the Deer River Warriors, they're going to be back at home versus Hinckley Finlayson. Chad Lathrop and myself will have that call for you Friday, September the 27th at 7.
Thank you, David, for the recap there. So Deer River, 3-1 on the season, and last night was a rematch of that section championship game from last year. Looking like Deer River maybe on a trek toward that same thing?
I would say that's a preview of this year's as well. And, you know, sounded like a great game all around, and I think Deer River going down to Bram and getting that win, that's a big statement win.
After the game, David caught up with the Warriors' Austin Raisley.
David Moody, part of the post-game show. I got Austin Raisley standing next to me. You guys come into Bram, you win 20-12. This game was, kind of full of adversity. I think that'd be the best way to say it. You guys had some things not go your way, some fumbles, interceptions, but you guys just kept battling back, and then seems like you kind of got the momentum back on your side when you rumbled in for a touchdown.
Yeah, we started out a little slow, but then after a few drives, our line picked it up. They were blowing off the line, knocking people down and making big holes, and I just did my part and they did theirs.
And let's talk about that touchdown run. You guys are down 6-0. You score 65 yards to the house. It looked like they had you, and you broke what? You had like 3 guys on you at once. You just weren't going down.
Yeah, my coach has been working the past 2 weeks with me to keep my legs pumping, keep pad level low, and that's what I did.
And it seemed like, you've had a lot of big returns throughout this season. Kind of seemed like they were kicking away from you. Did you kind of notice that too? That really helps the team with field position.
Yeah, that's what Shimma kept pounding us, that we need a field position today, and we just weren't getting the punch to us and the kicks to us, and it didn't help much.
So one last thing for you here, and then I'll let you go join your teammates. When you win a game like this full of adversities, what does it mean to you? Win on the road, facing some toughness, and yet you can come out with a win.
It means you got a lot of character. When we get down and make mistakes, we're able to come back and keep going and always fight.
Once again, that's Austin Raisley. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
David Moody with Austin Raisley after the Deer River Warriors win 20-12 last night over Bram. We'll take a break on the sports issue. We have M&N News on the way. Also, more high school football scores from last night. We'll be joined by Grand Rapids boys soccer in less than an hour. We'll talk Twins, Vikings, and more. KOZY.
You don't want to work at just any old place, and you don't want to work just any old time. Maybe you want to work mornings, afternoons, or late nights, weekdays or weekends. For job openings on your schedule, check out the openings at McDonald's.com. They're hiring for multiple shifts and positions. McDonald's can be more than just a job. They have great career opportunities available for the right people. If you're looking for fulfilling work and a fun and challenging atmosphere, don't wait any longer. Apply at McDonald's.com. I'm loving it.
Hi, this is Kevin Friesen, sports certified physical therapist at Grand Itasca. We're proud to have provided sideline coverage for student athletes in Grand Rapids for over 20 years, Itasca Community College for nearly 20 years, and more recently we've expanded to the communities of Coleraine, Hill City, and Reamer. The Grand Itasca Sports Medicine Team is your first call for sports injury care. We'll get you back to the game as soon as safely as possible.
Grand Itasca, part of Fairview Health Services.
We're here with Sue and Brian Harris, owners of Eagle Nest Lodge.
We've got 14 cabins from 1 to 5 bedrooms in size, and we're on the north shore of Cutfoot Sioux Lake, which is a bay on the northeast corner of Big Winnie.
Oh, we are a very family-friendly, fabulous location resort, one of the best beaches in the state.
Well, we were struggling with another local bank. We had an initial conversation with Kurt and then have been working quite a bit with Wayne. We got the immediate impression that they wanted to be on our team and work with us and help us to move forward. So it's been a wonderful experience.
I think everyone we've worked with has been fabulous. They've been just very supportive and just really easy to work with.
I think they're the friendliest bank around.
Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
That's the Woodland Way.
Minnesota News Network, I'm Brent Palm. About 30,000 motorcyclists are taking part in today's Fall Flood Run along the Mississippi and St. Croix River valleys between the Twin Cities and Winona. Bill Schaefer is with the State Department of Public Safety.
Give motorcyclists lots of room, pay extra attention, look twice before pulling out, and double-check your blind spots.
So far this riding season, 39 motorcyclists have died on Minnesota roads compared to 52 at the same time last year. Well, some of Minnesota's top elected officials sending condolences after International Falls Mayor Bob Anderson died unexpectedly Friday at age 77. Senator Amy Klobuchar says with Anderson's passing, International Falls loses a longtime advocate, mayor, and friend. And the Minnesota DNR predicting good duck hunting for the waterfowl opener this weekend, breeding population in the state of 14% above the long-term average. This is MNN.
I wasn't prepared to be a caregiver to Mom. I had no idea how hard it would be and what I would need to know. Things I never thought of, like how to improve her mood and ways for me to stay positive. Luckily, I found the Caregiving Resource Center from AARP. It had articles about the basics, but also information about the hurdles I was facing. Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
If you're looking for a one-stop shopping destination while traveling through Deer River, or if you're a long-term area member, the Northern Star Cenex Travel Center is here to serve you. They offer 24-hour fueling of high-quality, top-tier Cenex gasoline in 3 grades: unleaded, super unleaded, and non-oxygenated premium. On the diesel island, they offer highly rated Cenex Roadmaster Premium Diesel for on-road users and dyed diesel fuel for off-road jobs, plus propane for your grilling and RV needs. All at Northern Star Cenex in Deer River.
You ever hear that you get what you pay for? Hey, Max here with Donlier Ford, and here's the deal. We all know you can buy used cars here, there, and everywhere, but not all used cars are the same. We're a little different than the other guys. We're not just vacuuming the french fries out of these puppies and putting them on the lot. We're going to check it over. We're going to make sure it's right. We're so confident in these vehicles that we're going to give you a warranty for life. As long as you own the car, you're covered. So you got to come check us out down at Donlier Ford under the big American flag in Rapids.
This is Sheriff Vic Williams with a safety message about driving when your vision might be impaired. As well as driving with your lights on during the nighttime, it is equally important to make sure that your headlights are on when driving at dusk, through the fog, or through rain and snow. Even though it might be daytime during these conditions, it's important to keep your lights on so that other people can see you, just as you would like to see them. If we all make a habit of doing this, it should help make our roads a safer place to travel.
Classic Radio weather.
Here's your KOZY weatherology forecast. Cloudy skies today with scattered thunderstorms likely. High of 73. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance for scattered storms again tonight. Lows around 52. Overcast skies. High temperatures reach up to 63. Tomorrow, mainly cloudy skies. Dry with temperatures near average Monday and Tuesday, and highs in the upper 60s. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 68.
Welcome back to the Sports Issue on KOZY. He's Sheldon. I'm Joe. Hope your Saturday morning is going well. Sheldon, some other high school football scores you'd like to highlight from the Northland?
Two teams that we don't follow a lot just because they're not right in our area, but these games become fairly quite a bit more important because Grand Rapids now in Section 8. Right, and we don't even, I don't know, I have trouble thinking in those terms, but both Detroit Lakes and Rocori getting big wins, and I'm scrambling to find the Detroit Lakes score. I know they had a very convincing win, as did Rocori. Rocori beat Delano, so both of those teams, yeah, there'll be some tough teams. In Section 8.
I can help you out on the Detroit Lakes score, 54-17 over Pequot Lakes.
There you go. And I know Rocori beat Delano fairly solidly as well. Hermantown over Denfeld, 30-8. That's Grand Rapids' next opponent. That's not a big surprise. Southridge over Northeast Range, 52-0. Southridge, maybe the inside track in Section 5. Cromwell down quite a bit this year. They lost to McGregor. Hill City Northland, the Storm over Big Fork, 20-14. Big Fork's having a little bit of a tough go. East Central over Chisholm, 38-8. I feel bad. Chisholm really talent-wise should be a 9-man, but you know it doesn't work that way. They were a 9-man for a while, had some good years. I know into the section final in 2013, I believe. Morrow over Esco in a defensive struggle, 44-36. How about the Cloquet and Hibbing?
Yes.
And I really thought that game would be 82-0. It was 20-14 going into the fourth quarter. And Cloquet scored 30 points in the fourth quarter, made it 50-14.
30 unanswered points.
Yes,
wow.
In the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Hibbing, I think, and Hibbing doesn't play that many players. A lot of guys going both ways. But you know, hats off to Hibbing for not slumping their shoulders, hanging their heads. They got after it for three quarters, and I think probably just ran out of gas. Battle of Unbeatens. I think we mentioned this. The North Central Stars, which is Little Fork, Big Falls, North Home, Kelliher, over MIB 38-12, scoring 20 unanswered. I just found out North Central, Little Fork, Big Falls has been in Section 7, Kelliher, North Home in Section 8. So now they co-op. What section are they going to be in? They will be in Section 8. So MIB very likely still the class of Section 7. Mesabi East over Eveleth Gilbert, 44-13. Silver Bay over Cherry, 15-0. It's just good to see Cherry back playing football again.
Absolutely.
that program had been shelved since 2019 or 2016, I believe. Northwoods over Barnum 30-12. Barnum's having a bit of a tough year as well. We mentioned it briefly, but Moose Lake Willow River over Aiken 20-0, and Aiken ranked 7 in 3A before last night's loss to Moose Lake Willow River. Moose Lake Willow River's really good.
And credit to Aiken, too. I'm just seeing in their first 3 weeks, they gave up 0 points.
And Moose Lake Willow River scores 20.
Right. Yeah, so bit of a wake-up last night for the Gobblers. But
and third straight shutout for Moose Lake Willow River, I believe.
Let's check on that real quick here. That is correct, yep.
They are 4-0, but they gave up points their first week against Hermantown in a win. That's my memory. Am I good there?
You're good.
Okay.
That's going back like 3 weeks. Well done.
Hey, the old man sometimes remembers things. Two Harbors over Virginia, 20-8. And Bemidji. Bemidji's really good. Just a note to people in the Northland. 41-6 over Sartell St. Stephen. Duluth East, 36-16 over North Branch. And I would say Duluth East having a good year. I'm told they've got a running back who's difficult to stop. A big running back.
Is that Mr. Leonard?
Could be. I don't remember the name. I saw him on some video already this year. I was like, oh, boy.
I think he made one of the front pages of the News Tribune Sports this week, I believe.
Okay.
Any other scores catch your eye?
Those are the ones that catch my eye. You got any to add?
Nope. You pretty much covered the ones I was looking at. And that's a look around Friday Night Lights, week number 4, as we already look ahead to week 5 coming up next week. We'll take a quick break on the sports issue. We'll come back. We'll chat about a few other local sports notes, and then we'll have our second hour. We'll get into Twins, Vikings, and more. Grand Rapids Boys Soccer in studio at 9:30. The sports issue continues on KOZY.
McDonald's is committed to helping employees further their education and achieve their dreams. That's why they created Archways to Opportunity. Whether you're looking to earn a high school diploma, work towards a college degree, improve your English skills, or need help from advisors making an education and career plan, McDonald's and Archways to Opportunity give employees the opportunity to grow and learn, no matter where they're at on their journey. McDonald's, committed to being America's best first job.
It's time for the Car Care Tip of the Day, sponsored by Hibbing Chrysler Center.
At Hibbing Chrysler, they are celebrating Jeep Adventure Days and Ram Power Days. Hibbing Chrysler Center is offering all new in-stock inventory at dealership employee pricing. You pay what they pay. Check out the new 19 Ram 1500 with a 36-month lease starting at $103 per month. Hibbing Chrysler is also featuring 2019 Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk 4x4 with a 42-month lease starting at $267 per month. Or even the new 19 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4, a 36-month lease for only $255 per month. Maybe you haven't driven the all-new Jeep Gladiator Sport with a low-mileage lease starting at $199. From now until the end of the month, pick from a flat-screen TV or laptop computer with the purchase of any new or certified pre-owned in stock. Go to HibbingChrysler.us to see the daily specials and apply for 100% guaranteed credit approval. Come see Hibbing Chrysler now for super savings, all right now through the end of September.
Everybody gets a great deal.
With today's Car Care Tip, I'm Tim Edwards. If you're listening to this while driving your car, odds are you do have your seatbelt on. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says about 90% of drivers are actually wearing their seatbelts, but that's not good enough. Some drivers have reasons for avoiding seatbelts, ranging from a lack of comfort to my personal favorite, freedom. But those are not very good reasons. Seatbelts do save lives, plain and simple. Some 14,000 lives this year alone, nearly 500,000 since 1975. Physics can be a cruel mistress in a 4,000-pound metal box traveling at 65 miles an hour. And you can't rely on forward collision warning and airbags alone. Heck, airbags aren't even meant to be used without having a seatbelt on. So the next time you jump in the car, be sure to click it or ticket, like the saying says. With today's Car Care Tip, I'm Tim Edwards.
The Car Care Tip of the Day, sponsored by the Hibbing Chrysler Center. Listen for the Car Care Tip of the Day, 8:50 a.m. on 1320 KOZY.
Boss, there's a photographer out here who wants to do a piece on Jimmy John's for her magazine.
What kind of piece?
Well, she heard about a clothing optional delivery policy and...
Did you tell her the naked driver incident was a momentary misunderstanding?
Yes, sir, but...
Did you tell her it's our meats that are going all natural, not our drivers?
Yes, sir, that's not...
Did you tell her Jimmy John's is committed to serving sandwiches with only the finest all-natural ham, roast beef, salami, bacon, and real fresh turkey breast?
Yes, sir, I did, sir.
So she wants to photograph our sandwiches?
No, sir. Actually, she wants to do a calendar.
A what?
A calendar. You know, the men of Jimmy John's.
Dibs on January.
This year's Grand Rapids MACV Stand Down for Veterans event is Thursday, September the 26th from 8 until 2, with the welcome ceremony beginning at 11:30. It's a new location for the event this year, taking place at the IRA Civic Center in Grand Rapids. There's tons of free services and resources available for vets. To make registration faster, bring along your DD-214 or your VA ID card. This event is family-friendly. Brought to you by LinkVet.
Thirteen 20 KOZY. Along with Sheldon Willis, I'm Jojo Leotti. Looking at our weather forecast, scattered showers and storms today. Some could be severe. Temperature not moving a whole lot. We're at 68 right now. We'll have a high around 73. Tonight, storms continuing, tapering off mid-evening and a low near 52. Partly sunny tomorrow, cooler, high of 63. Monday, sunshine, 68. And then Tuesday, slight chance of storms and a high of 70. Right now, 68 and scattered showers. Our time is 8 minutes to 9. Let's see a couple of other local notes that I wanted to hit. A former Greenway Raider hockey star is on the move, Dante Lawson. Traded to the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders. So congratulations to Dante. He had been with the Tri-City Storm. So now he's a part of the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders of the United States Hockey League. Lawson of Taconite helping lead the Raiders to the state championship hockey game this past March. Another hockey note, there's a great article in the News Tribune yesterday of Cohasset native Hunter Shepard, two-time NCAA champion goalie for UMD. They said he won the Best Summer Job Award for the NCHC. Yesterday was Media Day, or a couple days ago, and he was a Lyft driver over the summer.
I like it. In Duluth?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think I saw the headline.
I'll be honest, I didn't read the whole thing, but I presume so. So, and as the article said, I would guess some folks had to do a double take, like, wait, my Lyft driver is the UMD goalie? That's pretty cool.
Yes, most valuable player of the national tournament, right?
Yeah, and he mentioned that he used to cut lawns during the summer, but being a Lyft driver just worked out better with his schedule and his workouts and whatnot, so very cool.
He also played baseball all summer long for the Marble Mallards with his brother Tanner, and they made it to the state tournament.
Yeah, not a bad last number of months for the Shepard family. Hunter and the Bulldogs go for a three-peat as national champs. That would be pretty impressive. They have a good chance, I do believe. Shepard, along with defenseman Nick Wolf, named co-captains for UMD within the last week or two. And so I think, one more local note I wanted to hit here. Congrats to Haley Orn of the Grand Rapids volleyball team. She was honored with a gold volleyball on Thursday night for breaking the school career digs record of 1,039. Broke the record in the North St. Paul tournament. So congratulations to Haley Orn, and thanks to the Herald Review for that note.
Yes, I was there. It was a fun little ceremony. You could have caught it off my Twitter. I tweeted it out,
Like I follow along on your Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, and we talked a lot about all the fog in Proctor last night. So I posted the picture on a group that I'm on in Facebook with play-by-play announcers from all across the country, college and high school, and even some pro. And someone commented, said, "My call. If I was there, he's at the 40, the 50. He's gone. No, not end zone gone. I literally can no longer see him." Which that would have been a good call.
I like it. That was, he's gone. No, really, I can't see him anymore. Any other local notes you wanted to hit from the week that was?
The week that still is. Just a note that Grand Rapids Volleyball playing in a tournament in Duluth East today.
So good luck to the Lady Thunderhawks. We should mention, too, that we are live streaming video here today.
We are. Head over to the KOZYradio.com website, and you'll see the Twitter feed, and there's a link right there that'll link you to the YouTube feed. It'll be more exciting when the soccer team gets here.
Yes, it will. Because for the last, 56 and a half minutes, you've just been looking at the back of his head.
Well, side, kind of.
Now, is that your good side?
No, this would be my good side if you're watching YouTube.
That is? Oh, okay.
The back side of my head.
Well, we'll have to adjust the camera then a little bit. So, and then I'm kind of off in the distance over here.
You can see Joe waving through the window.
Hello there. Yeah, Sheldon and I do have a window separating us.
That's so we don't fight.
It really is, because he doesn't want any piece of this. So he requested that we put in a window, and I understand that. Speaking of appearances, the KOZY website is revamped. It looks fantastic. Kudos to you and Becky and Kathy and Jim and everybody who's been working on it. New design, and there's been updated staff information, photos.
You wrote a whole new bio. I haven't done mine yet.
Oh, yes. You got to get on that. Are you just making sure it's just right?
No, I haven't gotten to it yet.
Okay.
But I think you'll find I really like the game downloads page. It's just on the bottom of the sports page now, and you'll see it underneath the sports announcers. It's organized well, and I think it'll be easier to find the games you wish to download, and all of them get up there fairly quickly.
If you missed any of last night's football games, or as the seasons go along, if you missed a hockey game or a basketball game, you can find them at KOZYradio.com, the full game broadcasts. You can listen to Sheldon and Tom try hard last night to see what the heck was going on.
And you could go back and listen to the 2017 game and see if we did better 2 years ago when we couldn't see.
You could compare and contrast.
And there's pretty much every game up there, I think, since 2015. So quite a bit of archive up there. If there's a game you remember or want to go back and listen to some of it, it's there.
And of course, we archive the sports issue as well on our game downloads page. Every episode is on there for you. Hey, to take us to 9 o'clock, let's check in with former Twins play-by-play voice John Gordon. He has been doing Tuesdays with Gordo segments, and let's just pretend it's Tuesday here and see what Gordo has in store for us here.
With the realization of the Twins reaching the postseason playoffs just around the corner, I have a couple of playoff memories to share with you. Hi, everybody. John Gordon with another edition of Tuesdays with Gordo. It appears it's just a matter of time before the Twins cinch a playoff berth. During my 25 years with the Twins, it was always a thrill when the Twins reached postseason play. And, of course, the World Series memories of 87 and 91 are still very fresh in my mind. Following the World Series appearances, the Twins earned postseason play again in 2002, and the Twins were just a step away from reaching World Series play again before they ran into a buzzsaw and lost 4-1 to the Los Angeles Angels. The Twins won a close-knit series versus the Oakland Athletics in 2002 and clinched an AL division title, winning the deciding and 5th game at Oakland. I can still see Denny Hockey catching the final out near the Twins bullpen in the vast foul ball territory in the Oakland Coliseum. Then the Twins made that incredible run from 2003 to 2010, winning 5 Central Division titles, only to lose the opening series of postseason play to the New York Yankees in each of those series. When it was all said and done, the Twins and Yankees played 17 playoff games, and during that span, the Yankees won 15, and the Twins could win but 2. Playoff baseball is what everyone yearns for. What a pleasure it was to sit next to Herb Carneal, and then to work with the Dazzle Man Dan Gladden. Minnesota Twins baseball is on the air, and it's playoff baseball from Target Field. What fun! John Gordon with another edition of Tuesdays with Gordo.
Thank you, Gordo. Twins and Yankees playoff matchups, one-sided to say the least. And there's a chance that we could play the Yankees again in the playoffs.
Good chance.
Oh, yeah.
Good chance.
Yeah.
That's what would happen if the season would end today, which is the stupidest phrase in sports ever, but we'll use it anyways. Season won't end today, but and I'm sad a little bit.
Why?
Well, I'm going to the Twins game tomorrow, final home regular season home game of the year, and I was so hoping I could see a clinch, but it will not happen. It's now mathematically impossible to clinch tomorrow. They could clinch a tie tomorrow, possibly.
But it's looking like a better chance of clinching in front of the dozens at Comerica Park in Detroit.
Yes, and there'll probably be as many Twins fans there as Detroit fans, so we'll just go with it, I guess.
Speaking of the Tigers, boy, did they have a tough time with Cleveland this season.
Gardy couldn't help us out at all, could he? I think maybe he's still mad at the Twins. I don't know.
After losing the first matchup of the season, the Indians then went on to go 18-1 total for the year.
So they won the last 18, right?
They won the last 17.
17,
correct.
Okay.
Yep,
Wow.
to go 18-1.
Oh.
Jeez. Talk about having a team's number. So we will talk more Twins baseball after our 9 o'clock break here as they took on Kansas City last night. And we'll have Vikings chatter as well as Grand Rapids boys soccer on the way. ABC News coming up here on
1320 KOZY Grand Rapids. Your best choice for local news, weather, and sports.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The Pentagon announcing it is sending U.S. troops to Saudi Arabia in response to last week's drone attacks on oil facilities there. Those attacks being blamed on Iran. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has more.
After placing sanctions on Iran, President Trump held a meeting with his senior advisors to consider options to retaliate against Iran, deciding to give Saudi Arabia full support by supplying weapons and sending U.S. forces. The U.S. is now calling on its allies to support Saudi Arabia and consider providing additional defensive support.
New information and reaction about the phone call at the center of the whistleblower report from inside the White House. The allegation emerging that President Trump asked the president of Ukraine to investigate Hunter Biden, who was serving on the board of a Ukrainian energy company while his dad, Joe Biden, was vice president. ABC's David Wright is at the White House.
Members of Congress are asking the White House to release the whistleblower complaint, but for now, the Justice Department and the Director of National Intelligence have refused. And Speaker Nancy Pelosi says that by doing so, they are entering what she called a dangerous minefield with serious repercussions. Vice President Biden, for his part, said that this is yet another example of Trump abusing the power of his office. He's calling on Trump to, at the very least, release a transcript of that call.
President Trump tweeting this morning, calling those reports fake news. Yesterday, he called his conversation, quote, totally appropriate. Congressman Joe Kennedy of Massachusetts throwing his hat into the ring, announcing this morning at a rally he's running against fellow Democrat and incumbent Senator Ed Markey in the primary for the U.S. Senate seat.
And I'm running for the United States Senate to tear that down, to fight back with everything we've got.
Tropical storm Jerry still churning in the Atlantic and packing winds of 65 miles per hour. It's expected to steer and threaten Bermuda later this week. You're listening to ABC News.
Be a flu fighter with a free flu shot from Walgreens. It's no cost to you with most insurance. It's quick, easy, with no appointment needed. Plus, it lowers your chances of spreading the flu to the people you care about most. Get your flu shot at Walgreens and get $5 off an eligible purchase of $20 now through November 30th. This is your shot to protect you and the ones you love. Be a flu fighter. Walgreens. Trusted since 1901. Coupon offer not valid in Arkansas, New Jersey, or New York. See coupon for terms and restrictions. Vaccine subject to availability and some restrictions may apply.
Family is big around here. We're family-owned, family-operated, family-managed. And that means legacy. That means dependability. That means using Grainger. With over 1.5 million products and knowledgeable product experts, Grainger has whatever we need. And with same-day pickup and next-day delivery options, they have it whenever we need it. For over 90 years, businesses like ours have trusted Grainger. Because, like family, Grainger's got our back. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Antonio Brown is out of a job and looking for a new team after the New England Patriots released him from his multi-million-dollar contract Friday. The NFL leaving Brown free to sign with another team while he's still being investigated for allegations of sexual misconduct brought by two women. ABC's Zachary Quiche has more.
A woman who accused Brown of sexual misconduct says she felt threatened and intimidated by text messages that came from a familiar number, which she believes to be Brown. This is the second accuser to come forward. Brown's former trainer, Brittany Taylor, filed a civil lawsuit last week, outlining allegations of rape, battery, and false imprisonment, all of which Brown denies.
In Washington, D.C. this hour, family, friends, and colleagues gathering for the funeral of ABC News journalist Cokie Roberts. Her husband earlier this morning, Stephen, speaking about his wife and what mattered most to her.
She saw all of this affection, she saw all of this gratitude, and yet at her core, what was important to her were personal relationships with her family and her children and grandchildren.
Cokie died earlier this week of complications from breast cancer. She was 75 years old. Protesters have burned a Chinese flag and police firing pepper spray during a march in an outlying district of Hong Kong in renewed clashes over anti-government grievances. This is ABC News.
Off-Road, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hunter Hayes is a busy guy these days, but you can bet his off-road time serves him pretty well.
I love taking a trip by myself to someplace I've never been. Those trips have always turned out song ideas or show ideas. They've always been very creative trips for me.
Off-Road from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. Get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Classic Radio weather.
Here's your KOZY weatherology forecast. Cloudy skies today with scattered thunderstorms likely. High of 73. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance for scattered storms again tonight. Lows around 52. Overcast skies. High temperatures reach up to 63. Tomorrow, mainly cloudy skies. Dry with temperatures near average Monday and Tuesday and highs in the upper 60s. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 68.
Second hour of the Sports Issue on KOZY. I'm Joe Gigliotti along with Sheldon Willis. Are you ready for a second hour?
Ready or not, here we come.
Minnesota Twins, hopefully, presumably, on their way to the playoffs. Regular season, still a handful of games to go as the Twins in Game 2 of their series last night as they took on the Kansas City Royals at Target Field. Twins would build up a 4-1 lead, but then the Royals would claw their way back, take it to the Twins bullpen a little bit. But how about this? 4 rookies on the mound last night for Minnesota, and then Trevor May would finish things up late for a Twins victory. For more on the game, here's Corey Provis.
Twins and the Royals, Game 2 of this 4-game weekend series on a warm but clear Friday night at Target Field. Randy Dobnak has been an amazing story. The rookie was summoned to start for the 4th time, his 8th big league game, and he got some run support early. The Twins scored 2 in the opening inning on a Cruz sac fly RBI and a Sano run-scoring triple. It was a 2-0 game. Meanwhile, Dobnak, he pitched himself out of some trouble, and that's where he's been at his best. With runners in scoring position, he has not given up much, and we saw more of the same on Friday night. The Royals scored a run, though, in the 6th inning to make it a 2-1 game, but then the Twins answered back on a clutch 2-out, 2-run double from Marwin Gonzalez in the home half of the 6th inning to make it a 4-1 game. Devin Smeltzer began the 8th inning. Miguel Sano charged with a throwing error followed by a walk to Jorge Soler, and there was trouble. Brusdar Graterol came in, back-to-back run-scoring at bats. It was a 4-3 game, but Graterol induced the final out in the 8th inning and kept the lead at 1, and that was the same score entering the 9th inning. The Twins had to piece things together. So many of their vital bullpen arms were simply not available for Game 2. The one guy who was Trevor May, who was seeking his second save. He struck out the first batter, Ryan O'Hearn, on 3 pitches. He struck out the dangerous Whit Merrifield looking, and then the last man he saw tonight was the switch-hitting shortstop, Adalberto Mondesi. Here it is. He got him! Strike three, swinging at 97. Trevor May dominates the ninth, striking out the side. The Twins win 4-3. The magic number's down to 5. A dominant 1-2-3 ninth inning for May, striking out all three hitters, and the Twins win the game 4-3. Dobnak picks up his first big league win. The Twins had 5 pitchers. 4 of the 5 were rookies in Dobnak, Stashak, Smeltzer, and Gratterall. They got just enough offense there in the first inning and the 6th inning as well. Twins are 95-59. They have won 6 of their last 8. Now the Indians won again. Cleveland has won now 5 straight games. So the magic number is down to 5, while the division lead stays at 4 on the heels of a 4-3 win. Twins and the Royals do it again on Saturday. It's a 6:10 first pitch with Jose Barrios on the mound for Game 3. Final score from Friday, Twins 4, Royals 3. From Target Field, Corey Provis on your home for Twins Baseball.
Thank you, Corey. And here is Randy Dobnak. The man is getting married in about 8 days and part of a team making a push for the playoffs here very soon. Here's Dobnak.
I think this is definitely the time of my life. I thought I'd be nervous the first day. I wasn't really nervous at all. It all comes down to just the same game I've played my whole life. I think if you minimize things like that, you won't let your nerves get the best of you. But yeah, I'm having a time of my life up here. Get married in 8 days. Actually, I guess it'll be 7.5 now. The best is yet to come, though. Get married.
Here's what I think. I think Dobnak and wild goaltender Devin Dubnyk should start some sort of charity like Dobby and Doobie.
There you go. I like it.
And I think that could certainly happen. When I went to play that sound real quick, I had to do a double take. Like, wait, why do I have a Devin Dubnyk sound? Oh, that's Dobnak. Dobnak, oh my goodness. But he pitched pretty well last night. Rocco Baldelli on the Twins, relying on several of their former AAA players coming up big last night.
We've had to rely on a lot of different people, position players, pitchers. Our player development group has sent us quality major league players, guys that you take and they're ready to come in and contribute, and it's great. And they're not just ready to contribute, physically and do that. They've handled themselves very, very well in the major league clubhouse, out on the field. I think it says a lot about the organization and the people that we have working with our young players. In addition, of course, to the players themselves. They deserve a lot of the credit too. But it doesn't always work like that. It's not that easy. Guys don't just come up from the minor leagues and come in and contribute. We're in a pennant race. And to be able to lean on those guys right now and not have any second thoughts about it, it's very nice.
That's Twins manager Rocco Baldelli, and one more clip from him here on the versatile Marwin Gonzalez.
He certainly stepped up and all over the field, and that's not surprising coming from him. He does a lot of different things for us. He put his ability on display tonight, and those were some big plays. We made some pretty good defensive plays, I think, tonight. Marwin, CJ had a nice day at first base, and we had to do that. And especially with Dobnak, he's going to throw some ground balls, and you're going to have to figure some things out and make some plays behind him. But we did, and that's all that matters.
Gonzalez with a couple runs batted in last night at the plate as well. A week or two ago, you mentioned when Gonzalez was injured and the Twins were struggling a little bit, they really, really, really need Marwin Gonzalez back. He's back, and it's paying dividends.
Well, big time. And then even with the outfield injuries, you don't have to play a rise in left field, which, I love having a rise in your lineup, but he is not a left fielder, has not really played it a lot. He's given it his best shot out there, but I'm much more comfortable with Gonzalez and Rosario out there.
So the Twins and the Royals will continue their series tonight. Twins with a 4-game lead on Cleveland, and the magic number is down to 5.
And how about the speedy Miguel Sano legging out a triple in the first inning and scoring from first on a double by Gonzalez in, I believe, the 6th. So Miguel Sano and speed. Who needs Byron Buxton?
Thank goodness that outfielder missed that ball to help the Wheelie Snow get to third. Yeah, I was amazed at that.
Well, and I saw this a while ago, just speed rankings, with their top speed that's been recorded by whatever recording software records these things for Major League Baseball. But Miguel Sano was just faster than Iri Adrianza, which just shocked me. He's not that slow. He's big, but he's not that slow.
Yeah, I should rephrase. For a big guy, he's not super slow.
Yeah.
He's not Mo
I mean,
Vaughn.
you would think Adrianza is pretty quick, and Sano is a little bit faster.
Twins and the Royals tonight, pregame at 5:30, first pitch at 6:10 on KOZY. Our friends Marv Burt and John Arnold will be at tonight's game. And so they may wave to each other. Sounds like maybe they're not too far apart. So, anywho, and you'll be at tomorrow's game. Some other Major League Baseball notes. The Atlanta Braves are your NL East champions after a win last night. Part of their celebration, they hopped in the waterfall at their ballpark, went for a little swim, and posed for pictures. The Astros' magic number to win the AL West is now at 1. Pete Alonso, what a season the rookie's having for the New York Mets. He hit home run number 50 last night.
Wow.
Only the second rookie in history to do that. The other one was Aaron Judge a couple years ago. And the Boston Red Sox officially eliminated from playoff contention last night, so we will not have a repeat World Series champ. Anything else on Major League Baseball that wanted to hit on?
I mean, the Boston not making the playoffs, obviously, from the way the season has gone, is not a surprise. But if you'd have told me that before the season started, I would have been surprised.
Same here, my man. Same here. We'll take a quick break here on the Sports Issue. We'll be back. We'll talk some Vikings and some Wild. 1320 KOZY.
Freak yeah, Jimmy John's.
Freak yeah, what if I just needed one sandwich delivered?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
What about 100 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
What about 24 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
67 sandwiches?
Freak yeah, we can do that.
67's a prime number.
Freak yeah, a whole number greater than one whose only factors are one in itself, I know.
Great. I'll take one Turkey Tom, please.
Freak yeah, one Turkey Tom, on the way.
Freaky fresh, freaky fast, Jimmy John's, freak yeah!
Hi, this is Ben Gook, physical therapist and certified athletic trainer at Grand Itasca. Our sports medicine team is committed to providing care to our local student athletes. We provide baseline concussion testing at many local schools and help to develop a safe return to play should an athlete have an injury or concussion. The Grand Itasca Sports Medicine Team is your first call for sports injury care. We'll get you back to the game as soon and as safely as possible.
Grand Itasca, part of Fairview Health Services.
Fall means a good smelling home and hot meals. This is Kurt, store manager at Super One North. On sale this week, 85% lean ground round, $3.49 a pound. Or how about Smithfield premium stuffed pork chops, only $1.99 a pound. Craving an apple pie? Washington grown Gala apples, 99 cents a pound. Or Fresh Express premium salad blends, $1.99 a bag. Fall's in the air at Super One Foods. Super One Foods, proud to be part of your community.
If your patio doors stick, squeak, or leak, replace them with Anderson patio doors. Their low E-glass, low-maintenance exteriors, rich wood interiors, and wide range of sizes can turn patio door replacement into serious home improvement.
Stop and see Derek, your Anderson window specialist at Anderson Glass, Grand Rapids.
This is the Sports Issue on KOZY, live streaming audio and live video of the Sports Issue on KOZY. Joe Gigliotti with Sheldon Willis. Looking at our forecast, scattered showers and storms today and a high near 73. Some storms could be severe. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high of 63. Monday, sunshine, high of 68. And then Tuesday, chance of storms and a high near 70. Right now, kind of just sitting at 68, and our time is 9:20, mostly cloudy skies. As we roll along here, Minnesota Vikings coming off a 1-1 start to the season. Opened up with a win over Atlanta, and then last week's loss to Green Bay. And the loss to the Packers... hold on, Sheldon. Okay, I just got word that the Kirk Cousins pass in the corner of the end zone, it has come down finally. It has come down. It has come down. It has been intercepted, but it finally has come down. Whew! As Vikings 21-16 lost to the Packers last week. Vikings had first and goal from the 8, and just a duck throwing up there, a floater into double coverage. Again, that wasn't the only reason the Vikings lost last week.
But it was a horrendous decision.
It was, especially for a pricey quarterback like Mr. Cousins, but he'll be the first to tell you that he can't make that mistake. And, of course, falling behind 21-0 early in the game didn't help things either. Vikings had other chances to win that game. It just didn't happen, but it was just one game, and it is very, very early in the season.
Both of those things are true. However, it gets late early around here.
True.
To quote Yogi.
Yeah.
So you'd best start winning at home soon, like now.
And a great opportunity to do that will be tomorrow against the Oakland Raiders, a very winnable game for the Minnesota Vikings. And let's get some sound here as we look ahead to tomorrow's game. Let's go with, here we go, defensive end Stephen Weatherly on Oakland Raiders running back Josh Jacobs, who's had a good start to the year.
He's a downhill physical runner. So what does that mean for us? It means we got to get more hats to the ball, swarm tackle. Don't just assume the first guy's going to get him down. Everyone gets there, and plus when everyone gets there, the second guy goes for the ball. It's all about turnovers at that point. With a guy that's a hard physical downhill runner, you're going to have to come, bring your lunch pail every time you go to tackle him.
Weatherly commenting on cornerback Mike Hughes, who could return to the lineup tomorrow after an ACL injury.
For us to lose him so early, like we did last year, to that knee injury was devastating, but he's bounced back. He used it as fuel, and so he's been out there practicing, getting reps. Whenever he's up, and that's another guy, fast, explosive, knows what he's doing, become a student of the game in that downtime with the injury. So he's just becoming more and more of a student of the game, which is a necessity, especially on the back end. I don't know what they do back there, but that's a lot of routes, combinations. He's getting better at it.
And how about Hughes himself?
So anytime I get to, step out on the field and play football, I'm happy. So for me to be able to, go full practice and, do every session and, every period with my teammates, it's just a blessing. I'm taking everything in stride. I'm just ready to play.
Vikings and the Raiders tomorrow. Pregame at 11 and opening kickoff at noon on 96.9 KMFY. Also, Minnesota Wild continue preseason action tonight when they take on the Colorado Avalanche. Wild 0-2 on the preseason. Not that the records matter much in the preseason, with a lot of youngsters just trying to make an impression, some trying to make the team. Mikko Koivu will make his preseason debut tonight, coming off of his leg injury last year. Here he is.
I think excited but just trying to be patient with it and just get into the game rhythm and get to the speed of the game and just feel comfortable there, to be honest with you. And that's the next step in the process, and I believe I'm ready for that, and we'll see how it goes.
Head coach Bruce Boudreau on the captain's return.
It just is wind, for one thing. You want to see his leg strength is probably the biggest thing. What's going to probably be rusty is his puck handling and everything, which I understand. But those other things are the things, like he works so hard out there. He's working his best to get back to where he is. So hopefully it'll happen sooner than later.
And also making his preseason debut tonight, goaltender Devin Dubnyk.
No, it's good. It's you use them to build toward the regular season. It's always strange. The first game when you get back in there, it's just the pace of it, the searching for pucks through legs, point shots, all these things that you just don't see in the summer. It's always fresh and a little weird when you get back out there. So you just use the time that you can to get the habits back and get finding pucks and doing all the things that you need to do.
The Wild and the Avalanche tonight in St. Paul. Again, preseason hockey continues. Anything else before we go to break?
Is it possible that Mikko Koivu can play another season and be even slower than he was before the injury last year?
Wow. Well, we're gonna find out.
The Grand Rapids soccer coach nods his head and says yes.
All right. Well, hey, we're going to hear more from the Grand Rapids soccer coach in just a couple minutes here. We'll also hear from a couple of the players as well. Grand Rapids boys soccer next on KOZY.
Minnesota News Network, I'm Brent Palm. After several months of gradual increases, Minnesota's unemployment rate fell 0.4% in August.
The unemployment rate has been rising on and off since October of 2018 when it was 2.8%. The rate hit 3.4% in July and slid down to 3.3% in August. State job analyst Sanjukta Chowdhury says they're not drawing any big conclusions on where the numbers might go from here.
Because the economy is still sound, it's still very stable, and there hasn't been really any huge sweeping changes in any of the numbers.
Tasha Radel reporting.
Senator Amy Klobuchar in Iowa this weekend and will take part today in the Polk County Democrats Steak Fry. More than 11,000 tickets were sold for the forum, which will feature 17 candidates for president in 2020. This is Klobuchar's 18th visit. This is MN.
She's Jen, the ultimate Vikings fan.
Welcome to the Vikings Jan Show Fan Show. My special guest today is Victor, the Vikings mascot. Victor, who you got for the Vikings game this week? I'll take that as Vikings. So that's our show. We'd like to thank our sponsor, the Minnesota Lottery, who reminds you this could be your year. So play the new Vikings Scratch game for a shot at $100,000, game tickets, and more. Minnesota Lottery. I'm in. Must be 18 or older to play.
I made us appointments to get vaccinated.
I already got the flu vaccine.
There are other diseases we can protect ourselves from. I don't have time to get sick or take care of a husband who doesn't listen to his wife.
I do a lot to stay healthy.
Well, so does Bob, but he's still got shingles, and Lena got whooping cough.
Don't wait. Vaccinate. It's one more thing you can do to stay healthy. To learn more, talk to your healthcare professional. Go to cdc.gov/vaccines or call 1-800-CDC-INFO.
Classic Radio weather.
Here's your KOZY weatherology forecast. Cloudy skies today with scattered thunderstorms likely. High of 73. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance for scattered storms again tonight. Lows around 52. Overcast skies. High temperatures reach up to 63. Tomorrow, mainly cloudy skies. Dry with temperatures near average Monday and Tuesday and highs in the upper 60s. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 68.
And welcome back to the Sports Issue on KOZY. I'm Joe Gigliotti along with Sheldon Willis, and now we've added a few to our conversation here. Grand Rapids boys soccer in studio. We mentioned Coach Nick Corbett is with us. Who else do we have today?
And we also have captains Cam or Cameron. Which do you go by? Cam usually, and Griffin Otto. Two captains, a junior and a senior captain here for the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks soccer team. And I'm going to start with you, Coach. And last year, you had a great soccer season. You had a senior-dominated team that went to the section finals. Was that the first time Rapids had been to the section final?
First time since 2010.
Okay.
Yep, the program's been to state twice, been to the section finals a couple times, but last year was important because it had been quite a while since we'd been where we were.
But you knew there were a lot of guys graduating off of last year's team. That you knew that was coming up. You two knew that was coming up as well. What was talk a little bit about what was talked about in the off season and as you started practice this year, Cam, and I'll have you lean right up into the microphone when you talk.
I remember going to like meeting with Nick and Griffin at Caribou and them just saying like we can't have a rebuilding season. We don't want to talk about a rebuilding season. I think that's like that kind of stuck with us.
And Griffin, what does it, because you've had some good wins this year. I know I was at the overtime victory against Hermantown, which was a great win here at home. What does it take to reload instead of rebuild when you have a big turnover?
Well, you just have to have the mindset where we can win and we have the potential to win, and we just got to keep like striving for just getting better every day. That's kind of
I say this teasing, and how does it feel to be responsible for Grand Rapids losing a volleyball coach?
I don't know.
I was talking to your dad, who of course was the volleyball coach the last 2 years, and he said 100%. It's just so I can watch Griffin play volleyball and soccer play on the same night every night. So we applaud him for. It's nice to have him at the games this year, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't at that many last
nice,
year.
Yeah.
And Nick, did you sense that attitude from the team as you started practice this year that there was a lot of determination to not have too big a fall off?
Certainly from the two guys to my right, and we met plenty times before season, and we try to get in the right mindset. But as from my point of view in high school sports, you don't get to have rebuilding seasons. You only have a couple years to play the sport that you love, and you don't get to say, well, what if next year? It just doesn't happen in high school sports like it may happen in professional sports. But from these guys, certainly, and I think now we're starting to see the point where our younger guys are believing that well, and I think now as the more wins are coming, but also as we're playing better soccer, you can see the confidence step up, especially for the younger guys who are now getting experience and are pretty skilled too, and are now just realizing that they're pretty skilled.
Well, and there's a difference between having a good team that's built around a class with some good athletes and having a program that keeps supplying good soccer players. Does it feel like there's a program here now, Cam, that's supplying high-quality soccer players at the varsity level every year?
I think there is. I mean, I ref a lot of like the U15, U12, and sometimes I'm watching Grand Rapids and I'm like, holy cow, they're better than us. And like they pass better than us at like U15. So I think once they get into the high school program, like it'll be good, and I think we've a lot to work with.
What has been the highlight of the year so far, Griffin? Was it that Hermantown win?
Well, yeah, the Hermantown, like the last seconds of just regulation time, that was fun. Yeah, I guess winning some of the bigger games like the Proctor and stuff like that.
And which one of you guys is one of the junior captain? Which one?
That's me.
Okay, that's you. Now, is that kind of rare for a soccer team to have a junior captain?
Yeah, a little bit. I think the last time I remember was like Brett Rodenberg, I think.
Okay. How much added responsibility do you feel as a captain at a kind of younger age?
I think it's a little bit harder. Like, since I'm not a senior, it's hard to like sometimes keep the other seniors in check. Mainly like Zach. But
okay. Not to throw any
not to throw any names or anything.
No, except for Zach. But so what do you? I don't know. Did they give you a hard time, the seniors, sometimes?
Sometimes, but it's mostly pretty fun. It's a fun group.
There's only 3 of them, 3 seniors.
Oh, okay. Well, you can handle that. Okay, just maybe not Zach, but. So, Coach, what went into that decision of giving Cam one of the captaincies?
There really wasn't much of a decision on my part that had to be made. I mean, we try to make this as much about the boys as possible, and we have the boys' votes. Certainly, we oversee the process, and we obtain the right to veto if there's any red lights or anything like that. But we've never had to do that, at least in the few years that we've been around, and it's something that I've always witnessed people take seriously, and it is a big deal, and it should be. So as far as the decision I had to make, it wasn't my decision. It was the team, and they spoke really, really clearly.
So Griffin, there's 2 other. Do you have to help Cam out to back him up with the other 2 seniors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, one specifically can get off track, and so yeah, I'm one of the only people that can even control him sometimes.
Yeah, and I'll add that it's all in good fun. It's
Right.
I mean, they're some of the funniest people that I've ever met, and if you would have seen some of the homecoming dance-off videos that we had within our soccer team and with the Pep Fest, it's a special group of kids. They're funny.
Can you find some of those dance-off videos on YouTube or Snapchat or somewhere? Can you find some of those videos and watch them?
Maybe.
We could find the homecoming one. The homecoming one is out there. Our dance-off we had yesterday. that was more private. But that was interesting. I don't think the world's ready to see that yet.
that one's not going up anywhere?
Nope.
Best dancer on the team is?
Either Zach or Blake.
Probably, yeah.
And worst dancer on the team is?
Reese.
Okay.
Reese is definitely the worst dancer on the team.
No one nominated Coach? Coach does okay?
No, Coach doesn't dance, and he probably won't either.
He'd probably be better than Reese, though. So
it'd be hard to be worse.
And I know as I was watching the Hermantown game, and then I heard some things about another game, the North Branch game specifically. Talk a little bit about keeping your cool in intense games or games that you feel like are getting out of hand a little bit. And maybe that falls to you both as a captain and a defender that stuff happens.
yeah, it can be hard sometimes if like the refs aren't calling the game your way, but you can't really control that, so you have to focus on the things you can control and stay composed and help your team stay composed. In my case.
Because it's easy to have retaliatory penalties in any sport, but I would think soccer is right there. You see your teammate or you get something done a little chippy, you're going to come back and do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just controlling that and making sure the team's in the right mindset not to do that stuff, because it'll just make the team fall apart.
Does that start in practice and with coaching and with the emphasis saying we have to be disciplined? My question, does that start with the coaching or with the kids? Do you have to bring that initially, the sportsmanship and the discipline?
I'm lucky enough where I have terrific kids in our program. Really in this area, all our programs I think have terrific kids in them. But we do talk about it in the little things, whether it's showing up on time, cleaning up the gear together, not making a couple of kids do the little things add up, just like they do in the classroom, just like they do out in the real world as well. But that's exactly what we call it is discipline and the little things right. And you can see one team totally go one direction if they're not happy with their teammates, with the officiating, with the coaches, with whatever. They can totally go one way, and there's things you can control and there's things you can't. And the sooner you figure out to focus on the things you can, life's going to be a lot easier no matter where you are.
Now, Cam, I know from playing sports and in any sport, it's easy to feel like you're playing the team across from you and the officials. It's easy for officials to get in your head. How do you keep that from happening? I'll guarantee you, in any game you're playing, the officials are less biased than you are. Mm-hmm. But how do you keep that in your head while the game's going on?
I just try to not talk to them unless I have to. I usually don't ever. It's because arguing with the referee, it's not ever going to get you anywhere. They're not going to go, oh, that was a good point. Let me change my call.
That has never happened.
That's never going to happen. So arguing with them is never going to work.
Are there any conversations with refs that do help, either help you or help the ref or help the game? You're saying probably not.
Well, probably not. There's times when I think you can go and talk to them and just say, hey, what can I do next time to not get that foul, or can you watch this guy doing whatever, or something like that. So maybe in the future he can have a better eye on things. But I think it's just talking to him on a eye-to-eye kind of level, as opposed to just arguing with him, is good.
Do you talk to refs, Griffin?
No.
Nope.
I don't think I ever really have. It's not in my mind when a foul's called. It's a foul's called. They're not going to change it, so I don't get into that stuff.
So does it work better to maybe have a halftime, if you talk with the refs a little bit as halftime starts as a coach and say, what are you seeing? What are you calling? I'm seeing this, and or have a little bit of a conversation that's not specifically at the moment and on a call?
Yeah, and that's certainly there's questions that are asked in moments like that, and certainly our players are instructed to more or less keep their mouths shut on the field. So if anyone needs to talk to the ref, or I say yell, because at times we're 80 yards away from them.
Right.
let the coaches and the adults handle that, and you guys play the game, and they've done a really nice job for that. And there's a difference what Cam was saying. They can certainly ask questions and ask what they were seeing, but if there's any issues, we do, and we try to handle it in civil manners if we can. Certainly emotions are running high, especially in big sections and games that are close towards the end of the game. Emotions can definitely run high, but I think as a program we do a pretty good job of treating them with respect. It doesn't mean we always agree, but we're certainly thankful for the rest that are around, and that they're doing the job that they're doing, and it works out.
Well, all around high school and I call it lower level sports, a shortage of refs is a big problem, sport after sport. Is it the same in soccer? Is it hard to find good refs?
Yeah, I think I see the same 3 to 5 refs at every game at home, so yeah, there's definitely a shortage.
Yeah, and I'd argue soccer is maybe even worse, because it's a sport that's really become popular in the last 20 years or so. So a lot of adults haven't played or don't know how to play. So it's sort of just like everything else. But if you add the fact that most adults don't know how to play soccer, it makes it even more difficult.
One thing we haven't talked about is the amount of cardio you need to play soccer. There's a lot of running, but there's a lot of running for the refs too. I think maybe in refereeing, I see sweatier refs at the end of a game than any other sport. Would you agree with that, Cam?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, and because I ref too. I don't center ref, so I just sideline ref, so I don't get as much running in. But I do know that there's also the shortage. Like I know the ref coordinator, and he'll text me on a Sunday night, can you ref Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at like this time? And I'm like, no, I can't.
I can't do all
Those
of
are
that.
my games.
So do you make a little extra money doing that, or
Yeah,
a little bit?
Sideline,
Yep.
you get like $25 a game, and when you send, you get like $45. At least that's for like U15.
Okay. Well, hey, a little extra spending money is always good, right?
Oh yeah, it's very nice.
I was going to. We talked about. I just mentioned the cardio part of soccer. Do you ever put a Fitbit on and see how much you run during a practice or a game?
I haven't ever, no.
No.
I have not.
No.
No. It might be interesting though.
So do you run? Any not necessarily competitively, but do you do any running outside of soccer?
I don't like running in general. Well, in soccer it's fine because you're kind of running with a purpose, but just going out on a run, it's never been fun. It's just not. It's just
that's
it's
not
my
something
thing.
you're not going to run a 5K
No,
or just go
never,
out and
never.
never happen. How about you, Cam? Same thing. If you're not chasing a ball, it's not fun.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of running or racing. I mean, I'll run a little bit like preseason, so when I show up to tryouts, I'm not way out of it. But other than that, I don't.
Are there any runners on the team? Guys that run outside of soccer?
Yeah, there's some track people.
Okay.
Chatting with Grand Rapids Boys Soccer here on the Sports Issue. Griffin kind of went Dr. Seuss on us there. Every time I go for a run, it's never fun.
He did.
Make a book out of that. You mentioned
Griffin Auto Quotables.
Yeah,
I
why
like
not?
it.
There we go.
Cam, you mentioned you do some officiating. Do you kind of put yourself in the player's shoes a little bit when you're officiating? Like, okay, if I was a player and that play happened, I think the ref should or shouldn't call it. Do you kind of look at it that way?
Sometimes it's just heat of the moment where like it might, like you just see it and you're like, oh, that's a foul, and then you're like, oh wait, I have to call that because like you like watching the game, you forget that you're reffing sometimes. But yeah, I do put myself in my shoes sometimes.
Coach, what year is this for you as the head coach now?
Third,
okay. Do you feel like you've kind of established an identity for the Grand Rapids program over these 3 years?
I think with our high school team and the guys we have, I think we have. I think there's certainly been a little bit of consistency over the last 3 years. But as far as our youth program and what we do, because as far as trying to keep this thing going and not just keep it going, but being successful, it definitely starts with the youth program and with the numbers. So it's certainly helped, and I'm more comfortable than I've ever been. But looking ahead to the club program, the youth program, and our numbers are growing and soccer is becoming more popular, and that's exciting. And making sure we're ready to handle those increased numbers is something that takes a lot of people, and we're lucky enough to have a lot of great parents in our program that help out. So immediately from a high school, I think with the guys we have in the short term right here, right now, yeah, but there's still a lot more that we want to do with this program.
Well, I know both soccer and football end up being fairly numbers-based sports. You have to have people for both of those. You can't play shorthanded either one. Does it? And I'm not. You're both fall sports. You both are recruiting the same types of athletes in some ways. Is there some competition between the two programs to get those numbers?
I mean, I'm sure to an extent there certainly is. You got kids competing in the same way. But that being said, just as a coach and as a high school teacher, something that drives me nuts is when kids just don't do anything. So you only get one high school experience to play soccer or football or whatever it is, and certainly we want numbers in soccer, absolutely. But rather than having to compete with football and cross country and just like any other season, you have competition with other sports. Just getting kids active and getting them doing something. Because we got a lot of opportunity in our community with a lot of sports. So as far as getting kids out, I view that more of a challenge than trying to compete with football or compete with cross country or that sort of deal.
But you do find it's often the same kids that are going to be involved, right? There's some that are just going to not really interested in sports. I'm not going to do that, and it's the same ones that are going to be involved in sports.
Yeah, it's the same just the athletes of a grade. They're 3-sport athletes. They play a sport, fall, spring, winter, and so it's the same. Pretty much the same people.
Do you guys get involved in helping recruit some of those younger soccer players into the club programs, either with camps or days where you interact or coaching or directly? I guess, do you get involved in trying to build those younger numbers up, the youth numbers?
Not that I know of. I helped coach a team like 2 years ago.
Okay.
So that's probably the closest I've been.
What age did you coach?
Like 8 or 9, around that age.
Ooh, that's kind of like herding cats at that age, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's fun.
it was interesting.
So what did you learn coaching youngsters like that?
Just like how much I've grown from that point. It's like they work on like not all running to the ball at the same time, and kind of it was interesting. It was interesting to see.
Yeah, well, I know you watch some of the, might level of hockey, and it's the same. It's the guppy swarm, right?
Yeah, that's right. And we just had our youth night where we had our youth teams there at our home game, which we beat Proctor, and these guys got to look like celebrities as the little guys are looking up to and run out in the tunnel with them. We got to high five the players, so they're watched more than they know.
But and that is true, right? And as you ref some of the U15 stuff, the kids know who's on the varsity team, right? The ones that are in the soccer program, Cam.
Yeah, they know me. It's hard sometimes walking up to the field and you're supposed to be unbiased, and then you have 3 or 4 kids from Grand Rapids going, "Hey Cam," and giving me high fives and stuff. I'm like, "Oh, I shouldn't be talking to you."
Come on, it's U15. You have fun, have fun with it. As we've talked about that commitment to not rebuilding but reloading this year, and some of the wins. Where do you feel the team is at, and how you're playing right now? We're getting close to the end of the season already. We're over halfway done.
Yep, goes quick.
Oh man, fall sports always do. Where do you feel the team's at?
I think we've grown a lot from when the season started. I think the season started, and we had a lot of guys that came up from JV. We only had a couple guys coming back from varsity. And I think that making that jump from JV to varsity it's hard. It's a way different kind of game. And so I think a lot of the guys are used to it now, and they're used to the level of competition. And it's easier for them to go out and just try to play their game. And we've definitely gotten a lot better.
Griffin, what's going to be worked on, or what needs to improve yet before the end of the year? What's the emphasis?
Like foot skills and stuff like that can always be improved. Just, I guess, like positioning and stuff like that, and also just working harder and harder on the field, because that's how we've gotten most of our wins, is just battling hard every minute of the game.
Who are some of the teams to keep an eye on in Section 7, in your section? Who's really at the top that you're measuring yourself against?
Well, the good news is we've seen them. We
Yep.
competed well against them in Hermantown, who we ended up tying, and obviously tied with a couple seconds left. And then Duluth Marshall, who we were ahead 2-0 early in the game, ended up losing in overtime. And then Chisago Lakes, Cloquet. In my 3 years, it's by far the most even field that it's been, in a sense of even the top team, which probably would be seen as Hermantown. They've tied us. They had lost to Duluth Denfeld, which was not supposed to happen. There is no clear front runner, or even front couple teams really. It's even. So we feel good, but we feel that if we keep working and keep making the improvements that we can make, seeding's not going to matter a heck of a lot. It's really not. It's more matchup and who we may be a matchup against rather than what seed you have.
And last year it was a little different because Duluth Denfeld was pretty much the favorite going in last year, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and this year it feels like, hey, we could go out in the quarters or the semis, or we could win the whole thing.
Yeah, it's really, really close. People are winning and people are losing against people that other teams have won against and they've beat. It's just all over the place.
How much difference does the field make? Because I know there's certainly been a lot of talk about hopefully getting turf here at Rapids, but that field really takes a beating. By the end of the year, you generally have a pretty chopped up field that you're used to and no one else really is.
Right, and that can really go both ways depending on if you're home or away. Because just like when we go to turf, it's different any sport you play. But when the ball spends the whole game on the ground, pretty much, it's almost a different game. The way it bounces, the way it rolls, it's an adjustment. The flip side of that is teams really hate coming here because we're one of the very few teams, at least in our section, that don't have a turf field. So they come to Grand Rapids and it's an hour and a half away, and most of their games are in the Duluth area, and it's cold, and they have to play on the Noble Hall mud pit, and it's definitely home field advantage to us. But the flip side of that is eventually, if we really do want to go far, like we did last year in the section finals, we got to know how to play on turf too. So it definitely is a challenge depending on what surface you're playing on.
And not only isn't it a turf field, but you talk, say, at Hibbing, where no, it's not turf, but the soccer team has their own field. They don't have to share the football field, so it doesn't get beat up quite as hard.
Right, and it's that can be difference too, especially how wet the year is. For us, it's especially the sports complex. It's a great field when it's dry, but when it's raining, when it's wet and it doesn't hold the water very well, that's a completely different story. So yeah, you really don't know what surface you're gonna play on any particular day, and that's not a Grand Rapids issue. That's wherever you're at.
Right. So what really changes when you go to a turf field? Most of your games or a lot of your games end up being on turf, Griffin. What changes as a defender on turf?
You almost have to anticipate like a massive bounce on the ball or win it out of the air every time. And it also rolls a ton, so you just have to be ready for all of that stuff, and anticipation is different from a normal soil field.
This isn't a school day, but I have a test that I wanted to toss out here. One of your teammates is senior Andrew Grabarkowitz, and I'm wondering who can spell Grabarkowitz. We'll start with Cam here.
Oh my!
Now I cheated. I have it on the State High School League site here. So
okay, so
for reference.
So you can check it. You couldn't spell it.
No, of course not. But I'm curious if the team could. So Cam, go for it.
G-A-R.
No.
I messed up on this. Oh,
that's all right.
Okay,
Griffin.
Okay, G-R-A-B-A.
Nope. Oh,
you got farther than Cam.
You did.
Can
Coach?
Can the coach do it?
I think I can. And actually, if Andrew wasn't sitting in a duck blind, he'd be sitting here with us to defend himself. I think it's G-R-A-B-E-R-K. And then the correct way is E. I'm not sure if it's correct on the website or not, but it's K-E-W-A-R-K. WITZ.
Whoa!
All right,
Coach nailed it. That's why he's the coach.
Yes. Well, we have our Twitter account, and we have our Woodland Bank 3 stars of the game, and Andrew's our leading scorer so far this year. So I've had quite a bit of practice tweeting out the scoring results and at 3 stars in the game. But it took a good 3-4 games to
be able
to get
to
it right.
It is right on the website.
Okay, good.
Well done.
nicely done. Certainly, a goal of teams is to make it to state. How likely is that? Can this team make that goal? I'm just assuming that's the goal.
Oh well, I think it's always the goal, and I think we definitely have a shot at it this year if we just keep like working, and because we can beat those teams. We can beat Hermantown. We can beat Proctor. We can beat Denfeld, Marshall. We can beat those teams. It's just a matter if we show up that day and if we really go at it.
Are you in agreement there, Griffin?
Totally, yeah. We can beat all of them, and they could beat us, but it's just the better team on that day.
Well, last year at the section final, we did our very first soccer live broadcast and had a good
great
time with Marv. So if we get a section title and a state trip, I'm pretty sure I can talk the boss into doing that again.
That'd be great. We'd love it. We would love it.
I'd love it too. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It gets me out of my comfort zone. You get used to doing the sports you do all the time. So good luck, guys, and thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
And you're not duck hunters, so you're not out this morning?
No.
Okay. I think that's where a number of people are this morning, right?
Yep. Yeah. Hopefully they had good luck.
All right. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
That's Cam Fox, Griffin Otto, and Coach Nick Corbett with Grand Rapids Boys Soccer here on the Sports Issue. We'll take one more time out and be back to wrap things up on KOZY.
We're here with Sue and Brian Harris, owners of Eagle Nest Lodge.
We've got 14 cabins from 1 to 5 bedrooms in size, and we're on the north shore of Cutfoot Sioux Lake, which is a bay on the northeast corner of Big Winnie.
Oh, we are a very family-friendly, fabulous location resort, one of the best beaches in the state.
Well, we were struggling with another local bank. We had an initial conversation with Kurt and then have been working quite a bit with Wayne. We got the immediate impression that they wanted to be on our team and work with us and help us to move forward. So it's been a wonderful experience.
I think everyone we've worked with has been fabulous. They've been just very supportive and just really easy to work with.
I think they're the friendliest bank around.
Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
That's the Woodland way.
Let's say you just bought a house. Bad news is, you're one step closer to becoming your parents, which means you're going to start telling your kids to clean up before the cleaning lady comes. Doesn't make sense, but you're the parent and they're the kids. You're going to start telling them that now, too. Good news is, it's easy to bundle home and auto through Progressive and save on your car insurance. And there's your opening to remind them who pays the bills around here. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Ulta Beauty's 21 Days of Beauty is 21 days of amazing finds. It's 21 days to discover your next go-tos and can't live withouts. 21 days of daily beauty steals of 50% off the must-haves, like the Tartelette and Bloom eyeshadow palette and Urban Decay 24/7 eye pencils. Plus, explore our latest exclusive products and hundreds of new launches, aka 21 days of I want that one and that one. Event ends September 21st. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
And welcome back as we wrap up our sports issue here on this Saturday morning. Big thanks again to Grand Rapids Boys Soccer for stopping in this morning. Anything else today, Sheldon?
We're just looking at the Grand Rapids and GNK schedules today. Both Grand Rapids and GNK cross country. They're at the Malacca Mega Meet.
Oh!
Just starting in a couple minutes. Swimming at an invitational at Duluth Denfeld, and we mentioned the volleyball team at the Duluth East Tournament.
And that should do it for today's episode. Coming up tonight, Twins baseball against Kansas City, 5:30 pregame, 6:10 first pitch. And then Inside Twins at noon tomorrow starts our Sunday Twins coverage, pregame at 12:30, first pitch tomorrow at 1:10. And then Twins will have Monday off before kicking off the final week of the regular season. And Sheldon, we will do this again next Saturday morning. And You have a good rest of your weekend.
You likewise, Super Joe.
Thank you. Big thank you to our sponsors, Grand Itasca Clinic and Hospital, Jimmy John's, Anderson Glass, and Northern Star Cenex and A&W of Deer River. Also thank you to Dondelinger Ford, McDonald's, Woodland Bank, and Super One Foods. For Sheldon Willis, I'm Joe Gigliotti. Thanks for listening to The Sports Issue on KOZY.